All right, Coach Sebolt, here we are, day 3, Reno, Tulsa. How's Academy kids doing?
We're scrapping. We got a good number of kids in the finals across the board: 1,500, 1,200, 1,000, 800, etc. I think 9 in the finals, 17 on the podium. We brought about 30, mid-30s for kids, and obviously.
You happy with how they've been competing this weekend?
There's kids that you're happy with that are really buying in and they make you proud, and there's other kids that you get frustrated with. That's just part of it. I understand that. You got to go back to work and try to find a way to make a connection with them where they start, getting things. But yeah, I mean, at least they're wrestling. So.
Yeah, you said it, man. And we needed it. We were just talking about it. It's been like a serious lull the last 5 months. How that affect you as a coach, and then how's it affected your athletes?
Affected me as a coach. We found a way to kind of work through it. Obviously, there was a little while there where we did nothing besides maybe private lessons and whatnot. But we ended up buying our own facility, so thankfully we were enough to train. We're still, a couple times a week anyway, to get on the mat. So maybe we've taken advantage of it to an extent, but I don't know. I just think it's hard on the kids just because they're kind of locked indoors and glued to their cell phones and not getting that social life they need maybe, and just limited to the activities they can do. But at least they got the wrestling club, so it's still there.
So tell me a bit about the facility. That's pretty exciting.
Yep, bought a facility. It's been, I think, May. Yeah, we purchased it in May. Got 2 full-size college mats, a locker room, showers, weight room, extra turf room that we're gonna probably end up putting like a bunkhouse in, sauna, cold tub. Those things will come. It's been great. I think the kids, it really means something to the kids when they have a place that they can call their own, kind of take pride in. It's been a huge advantage during this time.
And you got that facility in May, so it went from you couldn't train at like a public school because of the regulations. So it seemed that must have happened pretty quick, like that you had to find a solution.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I didn't waste much time. I had to figure something out, and I didn't know, was there any end in sight or not? And people are telling you you're not going to get into school for a year or two, whatever. And we were renting from Iowa State University and NIAC, North Iowa Area Community College, and I still can't get in either one of those rooms, and they told me can't get in the whole fall semester. So thankfully that became available and it was doable. It's a bit of a commute for me right now, but I'm going to end up moving to that location. It's about 50 miles from Des Moines, and yeah, it's great.
Then you told me it's about 2 hours and 20 minutes just to get to practice.
Yep, for me.
That's insane. I hope the parents appreciate what you're doing.
Well, I mean, there's a lot. Our club's crazy. I mean, we got some fanatics in there. They drive pretty far. I mean, 2-3 hours is pretty standard in our club. But yeah, it'll be nice when I get moved to the same location, just because you have so much more time available. Private lessons, extra workouts, small groups. Got a weight room. Use that outlet.
Stay all day.
Things like that. Yeah, right. And then once we get that bunkhouse in there, hopefully you get athletes that want to maybe come down and train 2-3 days in a row, right?
That's awesome.
So that's what I think. Once I finally get there and everything gets rolling, and hopefully we get back to some form of normal or whatever you want to call it, and reach its full potential.
Nice. So this question's probably pretty broad, but we'll see what we can do. And I'm probably talking about like a small sample of your club. Probably the tougher kids come here. But I always, when I see a kid in a Sebolt singlet, they wrestle really hard, and they know how to wrestle. Like, what are you doing to get that talent level up in your room?
I don't know. I don't ever think it's enough, first of all. There's plenty of kids here that I don't think are elite yet, but we compete basically on the national scene. And I think that's some of the reason why they're the way they are, but expectation. I expect a lot. I demand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we go out on the mat, one thing's for sure, we're not going to walk off the mat because of our effort with our head down and the other guy getting his hand raised. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Have no regrets. We preach that all the time. Wrestle hard. Mm-hmm. Most kids won't hold up. We have examples of that in the room, and we point out those examples, and kids look up to those guys. Like take Nate Jessaroga or Drake Ayala, or they get to practice alongside of these guys, so they see how it's done and how it's done right, and I think that's huge. But I would say the biggest thing is expectation, and you're just constantly putting that in your ear. You know what I mean?
So when I'm here, I pay attention to the coaching a lot. I struggle with it a lot, and I don't mean intensity doesn't bother me, but coaching that's not effective and just demeaning to kids, it's tough. You are a pretty intense coach, but I noticed that there's always a message and there's always an idea behind it. Like, how do you pick and choose when to be more intense, and then when maybe or I don't know if there isn't time, but
a little bit of it's the kid, but I don't know. At the same time, I'm not afraid to rip into anybody. You know,
Not afraid of what?
I'm not afraid to just rip into anybody. If I don't think their effort's where it should be, I'm gonna let them know. Period. It's not just based off wins and losses. We base it off performance, right? So even if they go out there and get their hand raised, and I didn't like their effort, I didn't like their pace, I didn't like how they stalled out or this, that, whatever, I'm gonna let them know. And if they don't like the tone of it, well, I guess maybe they don't have to be in my club, I guess. But they're all used to being coached pretty hard. It's not like it's just negative all the time. I'm just being an asshole. They just gotta earn. I mean, they want a compliment, earn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't really baby them.
Nice. You have fun? You enjoy?
Oh, I love it.
This is your full time everything?
Yes, full-time job. It's what I do. I love it. I love making an impact on kids' life. I love seeing them set a goal, and you are a part of helping them reach that. I love everything the sport teaches: accountability, hard work, sacrifice, all that stuff.
If I were to start a club next week, what would be like a couple pieces of advice you would give me?
You would start a club next week. I would say continue evolving with the sport. I would say in my opinion, there's a little bit of a soft mindset in the world these days. And you're considered a hard ass or old school if you're still maybe that way. There's a lot of fear about burning kids out and being hard on them. It's hard. There's a fine line, right? I kind of push it to that line. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I would say don't be afraid to coach your kids hard. Really, that's it.
Last question. What do you do to keep evolving?
Pay attention. You study the sport. I spend a lot of time in video, watching a lot of overseas wrestling. Being at the tournaments itself, just watching the sport evolve and being more open-minded. When I first started, I thought there was this way of doing things. And it could be I don't like wrestling from an overhook. Well, things are different than when you competed. You know what I mean? There's ways you can wrestle in every position, and you got to be open-minded about it, and put the kids in those positions, and constantly evolving your technique, and constantly paying attention to what makes your kids tick, and how they respond to you, and things like that.
Awesome. Well, good luck the rest of the day. Safe travels home. You got anything else for us?
I just love what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thanks, man.
Yep.